The impact of these allegations are starting to be seen here in the California governor's race. Tonight, the first polling is out showing where voters stand since Swalwell has dropped out. Take a look at this. An Emerson College and Inside California Politics poll conducted this week shows Republican Steve Hilton leading at 17%. Chad Bianco and Tom Steyer both sitting at 14%. Xavier Becerra made the biggest jump from 3% in March to now tied with Katie Porter at 10%. San Jose Mayor Mahan is sitting at 5%, but out of the thousands of likely voters that were polled, nearly a quarter of voters still remain undecided. And that's where we bring in ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen, who is joining us with more on what all these numbers mean for the candidates in this race. Jeannie, what can you tell us?
Well, Alex, since Congressman Eric Swalwell's exit from the race, the poll clearly shows there's a lot of potential for the Democratic candidates to rise to the top. This also means we could still potentially see a face-off between two Republicans come November. We asked political strategists about the numbers.
Looking back at the 98 race, 3% is a few 100,000 votes. So a few 100,000 votes can make a big difference one way or another.
Democratic strategist Andrew Acosta says every vote matters this June. He says it may be too early to tell who may benefit from Congressman Eric Swalwell dropping out of the race. Republican consultant Tab Berg believes Xavier Becerra's jump may not hold, but one candidate is catching his eye.
One that I'm paying the most attention to now is San Jose Mayor Mahan, who I think has shown steady growth.
Acosta says Swalwell's name will still be on the ballot, and he's skeptical of former Swalwell supporters quickly endorsing another candidate.
He probably will get some amount of vote, not a ton, but so it's still one of those things that as voters now are figuring out that it's not Swalwell, then they have to figure out, okay, then who's next?
The top two vote getters in the June primary will go on to the November election, regardless of party. Berg believes the likelihood is low for two Republicans to advance to November.
There's a less than 10% chance of a Republican versus a Republican. There's about a 25% chance of a Democrat versus a Democrat. But it's a 65 to 70% chance that it's going to be a Republican versus a Democrat.
All right, Jeannie, so talk a little bit more about what were the top issues that you saw that people still are really caring about.
Well, the number one thing that a lot of voters are worried about is obviously the economy, and that comes in at 41%. A close second is housing affordability, and that was at 20%, Alex.
All right, Jeannie, thank you so much. You already know we're going to continue to follow this very closely. The primary election is on June 2nd. We are just weeks away. The last day to register to vote for the primary is May 18th. Ballots will start being mailed May 4th, and then drop-off locations will start opening on May 5th, with in-person voting centers opening starting May 23rd. And if you do want to hear from all of the 9 leading candidates for governor, you can stream their interviews right now on the ABC 10 app. I interviewed the 7 leading Democrats and also the 2 leading Republicans. Just look for California governor's race on the home screen.